Hello everybody, this is Mike Caribbean. It's my program. Every Thursday I have those programs, and I'm excited to do another program today. Those of you who are following me, I'm in the insurance and real estate business. I have an insurance office and a real estate office, financial services. That's what I've been doing last 15 plus years. And I'm very passionate about it. I love what I do. I love helping people, educating them about their finances. And I'm sure you'll agree that finances is the big part of our life. When your finances is strong, there's way more stuff, way more goals, and way more excitement you will have in your life. But being financially strong and and build something for yourself, for your family, and for your future, it takes hard work, but most importantly is knowledge. You can work hard but don't know how money works and don't know what to do with your money. It decreases the chances of you building something great for your future. That's why I'm excited that I'm in this business. After 15 years, I still love what I do, and I see myself retiring with this industry because the impact that it did in my life and learning what I learned, and I impacted many people, educating them about finances, it gives me joy and more passion to continue doing what I'm doing. If anybody has questions about insurances or real estate, contact me. You see my information in the screen. You can also visit MikeCaribbean.com, where you can see all the projects that I do. Now, when you're watching this video, especially on Facebook, any questions you have, put it out there, and then after the program, I'll be happy to get back to you and answer it. But you are welcome to ask any questions. And if you want to have private conversation with me, just text me privately or email me through my website. I'll be happy to get back to you. And I'm thankful from every program. I have a lot of people emailing me, contacting me, sending me questions. Some of you, I end up talking over the phone. Some of you, we end up meeting. I love meeting every single one of you or talking to. And if some way, somehow I can be beneficial and help you grow financially, I would love to do that. And also I do personal coaching on one-on-one basis, and I teach people what it takes generally to be successful. Doesn't matter what industry you're in, I teach principles that if you apply it in your life, it's going to increase the chances of you becoming successful. And I learned this from very successful people, and I'm thankful. I want to take the opportunity and thank all the coaches I had, all the coaches I have now, and I'm going to meet in the future. I learn from you, and my job is whatever I learn, I help other people. You know, dream work is when you help other people, teamwork, working with others, helping each other grow, build each other up. I learned to be successful, and some of you, if not most of you, will agree with this, that to be successful, it's very simple. How many people can you help around you to achieve success? And you will become successful by doing that. So the point that I have is that don't focus on you. Focus on how can you help other people to grow, and you will grow. Whether it's in your personal life, in your finances, you will grow, because when you help others, that's what happens as a reaction. Now, today, I want to bring a couple of examples that happened the last 2-3 weeks, some of the pending cases that I work, and while I'm going over the examples, and anybody has questions, again, write it down. So first one that I want to do is an individual. Okay, this is an individual. Again, I'm not going to share any information, that born 1974. Okay, the client called me about 3 weeks ago, and I helped them with another transaction. I helped them to get a health insurance, and then they called me and they want to get a life insurance. And the reason I'm sharing you this is because this client have a multiple sclerosis, which means for life insurance companies, it's almost impossible to insure individual with this health condition. However, since the agency, our brokerage that I work with, we have contracts with different insurance carriers, there are some companies are willing to take cases like this. It's case by case. Obviously, they're not going to give a high coverage. One of the companies that I have contract with, they're willing to give this person a $50,000 coverage, life insurance. It's a guarantee issue, and with the condition this client is. But on this client's example, I want to bring a couple of points for those of you who are watching that have life insurance. Pay attention to the details, and those people who don't, I hope this is going to be a wake-up call for you. Do not think, especially I'm talking to also to business people. I have some business friends or people that I know, and they have certain amount of money they saved or assets they're building, which is great. But I think as a businessman, as an entrepreneur, one of the key things that you got to implement in your financial life is buying a life insurance. I'll give you an example and get back to this. Let's say you're a businessman, you're making like $300,000 a year, right? And because of your success here, you have, let's say, $1 million or $1.5 million worth of net worth. Okay? Great job. That's awesome. Whether this includes real estate or savings or some kind of investments you did in stock market, whatever the case is, doesn't matter. Let's say you worth 1.5 to 2 million. Okay? Now, as a businessman, this information, I want you apply it if you're not doing. First of all, there's risks in life. Anything can happen to anybody. You can get sick. You can become disabled. You can lose your business. Stuff can happen. Now, my question is to those people who are businessmen and don't have a life insurance. If anything happens, do you want your assets to continue recovering your lifestyle expenses, or do you want have an insurance policy that will potentially take over that responsibility? Especially, scariest thing that happens to a lot of entrepreneurs, when something happens, they die, and all these assets they build it with the hard work, their family spends and it goes quickly, versus they have maybe $2 million, $3 million, $5 million life insurance, and they take the money from insurance and they continue their businesses. They continue their lifestyle, meaning their families. So as a businessman, I want you to think about that. Make sure you have a right amount of life insurance, and of course also health insurance. I'm not promoting this because I'm in this business. Let's put that aside. As an individual, you want to make sure you're protected. Now, going back to this client, the reason I cannot do more than this with one company is because of their health condition. That leads me to my other point. When you're healthy and you're young, buy a lot of life insurance. Why? Because if anything happens to you health-wise, you're not going to get a lot of coverage. It's going to be too late. And I've seen this many, many times. People call me when they had a cancer, they had a situation like this, multiple sclerosis, or any kind of health issues, and they're like, "Mais, we want a coverage." And a lot of times my answer is, it's too late. Not a lot of companies going to take you, and some companies not even going to look at your application. So ask yourself, why you don't have a life insurance? You don't see a value? Oh gosh, I can do another video about how valuable life insurance is and how much it can save you in case something happens. And if you have a life insurance, ask yourself, do you have enough coverage? Very, very important. Most clients that came to me that had a life insurance, about 70–80% of the time they are undercovered, meaning they have way less coverage than they're supposed to have based on their lifestyle. If you have questions and you want to know more about details about how that works, contact me, I'll help you. Now this person, going back here, it's sad, but I told them there's not a lot I can do. I can get you maybe 50,000 or maybe another 30,000 or so from different company. But again, the point is, they told me, I wish I thought about this and applied it before. So that's one example. Next thing I want to go over as an example is a customer, and it's a sad story. I wrote a policy in 2014. It was $250,000 term insurance, okay, for 30 years. Now the client was paying about $110 a month, and about 4 years passed by. So in 4 years, if we take she paid, I believe, less than 5,000. So she paid exactly estimated. I don't want to say exactly. I want to say estimated because I don't remember the exact month. $5,280 to her policy. So in 4 years, a little bit more than 4 years, the client paid $5,200. Now, because this policy had a living benefit, if you don't know what is a living benefit, I did a video about that. You can go to my YouTube channel, My Caribbean, and then watch those videos. If you have questions, contact me. So this living benefit, she has cancer, level 4 cancer, which is very dangerous cancer. It's a life-threatening, big time. We don't know how long she's gonna live. It's sad part. It's not fun. When the client's husband called me, you know, he had tears. I met the client. She's a very positive lady, but again, if somebody in that situation, I don't care how positive you are, you have a lot of worries. Okay, don't wait something bad happens then take action about buying a life insurance. Do it now. Do it when you're young. Do it when you can, and buy as much as you can afford. So we open a claim. I'm in the process of doing a claim, and since it's a life-threatening situation, I'm gonna get approved most likely up to 90%. And I say up to, I'm still waiting for the claims to go through. If I get estimated 90% of $250,000, I'm gonna deliver this client $225,000 plus minus check. Is that a lot of money? Not really, but it's way better than getting nothing. Okay, so that's the second example. Now, as an agent, I feel sad what's going on about the client, but as far as delivering a check like that to that family, I know I'm gonna make an impact in that family financially. And this is not the first time it happened to me. A lot of times that I deliver a death claim check, living benefit check. So I love helping people. Okay, if you don't have a life insurance, I'm talking from my heart. 15 years in this business, I've seen many cases when something bad happened, it was already too late. Buy a life insurance. Very, very important. Let me go another case. I'm gonna go exciting case this time. I have a client about 8 years ago. Okay, 8 years ago, my client bought a Index Universal Life. In those policies, part of the policy has a cash value accumulation. and this client was overfunding the policy for the kid, and 8 years later they had about, I think it was about $50,000 or so in the policy, because this client was paying as much as the policy is allowed, over funding whatever amount it's you can put it in a policy. Now I met them, and when I showed them how much growth they had, how much interest throughout the years they accumulated, they were very excited, and their kid is about to go university, and they told me, obviously the kid was not there, they said this is our gift that we're going to give it to them. And me, as being a parent, that made me so happy to see what parents do for their kids. It's information, it's education. Imagine every parent does something exciting for their kid and give them the policy and say, hey, look what we did for you. And if this kid continues this policy, by the time they become 65, they're going to have almost $2 million in their policy. And it's exciting. And me as a parent, I did the same thing for both of my daughters. I'm excited to save money for them. So, you know, life goes on. Life gets expensive, and we have to think and worry more and more about our future, about our retirement. And the sooner you do something about it, earlier you do it, the sooner you have more time to build something solid. When it comes for you to retire, you have something to depend on. You have something to, you have a foundation, because you know, I know that depending on Social Security is going to get us nowhere. And you know, there's a lot of talk about this, that next 10, 15 years, maybe that fund is going to be finished. It's no more going to be Social Security. So my question is, if you don't have a retirement plan, how are you planning to retire? What are you doing that is going to get you there? Because the worst that anyone wants is be 65 and still continue working because they didn't save enough money for their future. That's why I'm excited doing this business and educating people, no matter what the age you are. If you want to know how money works, if you want to know how you can build a solid retirement, how you can deal with your finances professional way, what to do that your money works harder for you than you work for money, contact me. I'll sit down with you, I'll educate you, I'll go over your scenario and see what you should do, what you should stop doing, and that's going to help you to build stronger financial future. Now, if anyone has questions, again, you see my information. You can visit my website and see all the work that I do. And those of you who just joined me on My Caribbean, I'm in financial services. Specifically, I do insurances and real estate. Now, my time is finishing, so the last part, I want to a little bit talk about the importance of investing also in real estate. Why I want to talk about that? Because real estate is part of my portfolio as a businessman. I love investing in real estate, and I'm learning more about it. I have great friends. If my friend is watching this, he knows that I'm talking about him. He's teaching me more about real estate, specifically real estate flipping, and I'm very excited. The market is great. I know it's kind of slowing down, but again, it doesn't matter what the real estate market does. As long as you know what to do, you're still going to make money. And right now, those people who are in a market to buy a house, a lot of times they call me and say, Mais, is this a good time to buy? I always say the first timing is yours, personal timing, meaning if you're financially in a situation where you can afford to buy it, buy it. Especially if you're going to stay in a property long time, even the market does adjustment, it's still going to come back. You're still going to make money. Last example I want to bring, and this is a real estate topic related. I met a friend in Starbucks. I was, working from Starbucks. I love working from Starbucks. You meet anyone and everybody, and sometimes you meet a lot of the people or old clients or old friends. So by accident, I met somebody that I used to work years ago, back in 2001 or 2, maybe 2000, in a marketplace. And this guy ended up buying a real estate, which is great. That's exciting. And he bought it from an area that is not too expensive. And he said, I wanna pay off my house. I said, you know what? Do you have 5-10 minutes? I want to show you something. And then he sit down with me, and then I show him. I teached him this idea, and this goes to anybody who wants to learn about real estate or maybe has a real estate. I told him, you want to pay off your house? And I asked him, why do you want to do that? Do you have other properties? He said, no. I said, why would you want to pay off your house? He's like, why? I don't want to have payments. I said, that's good, but not now. When you have 10, 15, 20 houses, then you can worry about this concept. But right now, if for example, your house is worth $300,000 and you paid it off, you have $300,000 equity sitting in your property doing nothing for you. I told him this, and then his eyes opened up. He's like, you know what? I'm going to come see you in your office, and whatever you tell me, I'm going to do it. And I'm working with him right now. I told him this simple concept. I said, equity is something you use or you lose. And for a moment, he didn't understand my point. I said, let me explain what I mean. This equity that is sitting in your house is not making any money for you. I said, you know what? Instead of paying off that $50,000 or $60,000 balance he had left, I said, forget about that. Let's take out another maybe $200,000 equity, cash out your house, and then I'm going to teach you how you can rent this house, because he wanted to get a bigger house in the future. I said, let's rent this house. Your rent is going to cover your payment on this house, and then I'll help you find the next dream house that you want. And I showed him mathematically how his payments is going to be about the same, but doing this little adjustment, he's going to have 2 properties instead of 1, and both of his properties going to build equity in the future. And then another one, the first one, I mean, he's going to collect the rent and pay off the payments. So in other words, his tenant going to pay off his mortgage. And then when I show all the numbers, and I said, let's fast forward this idea 5 years, 10 years, watch what's going to happen, versus you pay off the house, and 10 years later, you could have double, tripled the money that was sitting in your house as equity doing nothing, versus you use my idea, and then 5 years later you double your income. So I'm excited to work with him, and this is as an example I'm showing you. There's many examples I can do. It's based on case-by-case scenario. So if you want to learn how to grow your money in real estate, I'll be happy to assist you as well. Thank you everybody for watching today's program. I'm Mike Caribbean. I'm in insurance and real estate. And if you want to follow all my work, visit my website, mysmikecaribbean.com. Any questions you have regarding insurance or